What is storytelling? Storytelling started with our indigenous people.
Hello,
Hi, Scott.
so lovely to meet you.
Pleased to meet you too. So can you tell me a little bit about the concept of the movie and specifically the creature and what it means to the story?
Yeah, well, it's really, you're taking my sensibilities, a very grounded experience as a filmmaker, and then Guillermo del Toro, who's a producer and who asked me to direct this film and take his more fantastical sensibility and marry the two, which was a real challenge for me. But really the film is about kind of inherited trauma and generational trauma and abuse, familial abuse, as well as abuse of our landscape and all of the kind of fears and anxieties that are moving through America today. And there are a lot of them, but we're confronting a lot of them and faced with a lot of them. So I thought to myself, if I'm going to tell a horror story, it's really important to tell about the horrors that we really face each day. But also at the center of it is this Native American folklore, this really wonderful mythology that bespeaks to the indigenous experience when the first settlers arrived in America. And out of the settlers' greed was born this Wendigo that is at least in my film quite vengeful.
These drawings belong to a student of mine.
This is what was in the mine. It's a diabolical spirit.
Excuse me, this is a myth.
For you, yeah.
You were talking about Guillermo del Toro. How did you two collaborate?
Well, he came to me and he said, Scott, your last 3 films have been horror films, but nobody really knows it. Would you actually like to make a real horror film? And I said, yes, I love the genre. Many of my favorite films are horror films. And Guillermo and I started working on the screenplay, and then we started designing the Wendigo together. And he was a really great partner, very generous with his time and his ideas.
You wrote most of the movie you directed. So I was wondering if it's easier to direct when it's your own word, or how is it with the creative process on set?
Yeah, well, because Guillermo knows that I write all of my films, there was an existing short story that this was based on, really wonderful story by Nick Antosca. And then there was an existing screenplay that was also a different kind of film, but one I think that was really quite interesting. So I took those, and then I just started my process of starting from the beginning and kind of weaving throughout the film some of the themes that I wanted to discuss, that again that horrify me as a citizen of this country at the moment. So it was really just my process of writing the screenplay and then sharing it with Guillermo and Searchlight, the studio. And then out of that is the film that you've seen.
So Jeremy Thomas is wonderful.
Thank you. It's great.
Yeah. Is it easier harder, I guess, to direct the young actors? Or how is
much more difficult. And in all of my films but one have I had child actors. And because the type of actor that I use aren't child actors. These are just kids who've never really been on a film set. Because I find that child actors are too programmed to cry on command or laugh on command, and they can't quite take direction, and they don't listen. And listening is the most important tool an actor has. And Jeremy, I think I saw about 900 boys around the world, and he had a quality that I thought was essential to finding who Lucas was and who would take us through the story as the heart and soul of the movie. And I think his performance is as truthful and as haunting as anything I've seen.
Okay, one last question. Then, is there a movie, scary movie, that still haunts you?
That still haunts me. There are a few. I would say William Friedkin's The Exorcist. As a parent, that's portrayed so realistically. It also deals with the supernatural. I would also say Ridley Scott's Alien is quite terrifying. And I would say Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, also that deals with family tragedy and grief.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
He's here.